It's really.
Well, it's it's been a long time since we've done one of these. Hello everybody. This is Carl and Fadi doing the little podcast, and we are at the moment in Strayman headquarters, ITI Crawley, and I imagine the weather's a little different to how it was for you 24 hours ago, because Fadi's just flown in. Not specifically for this, unfortunately, but for the exams that we're doing for the CID Coliseum, Certificate in Implant Dentistry. Anyway, let's get on to the nitty-gritty, mate. Kenya.
Yeah, so thanks for getting me to talk about the subject. It's something very close to my heart, and I've been going to this area, this region in Kenya. It's called Loita Hills, and it's between the Kenyan-Tanzanian border, at the border almost. It's one of the most remote Maasai communities live there. It's about like 15,000 population, over a 250 square kilometer. Very, very basic kind of lifestyle, which is traditional Maasai lifestyle.
Yeah.
Although they're no longer nomads going, hunter-gatherers, they're settled because of the borders that have been introduced.
Okay.
And now they still live in a very traditional way, which is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
It's refreshing to see unspoiled land, earth, people living, depending day by day on the stuff that the land can produce for them. And everybody would have heard about the droughts and so on, which is still going on. So what we do there, I've been going there since 2006 or 7, first time I went.
How did you end up sort of finding out about it or doing it?
There's a mate of mine who invited a group who lived there, basically. Somebody who lived there came to our church and talked about what they need. And one of the needs was a clinic. So they thought, and that's how we got involved. So I kind of sat down with him over a cup of coffee saying, what is this about a clinic? Why do you need a clinic? So he went through the issues there where there's no electricity, there was no clean water supply, and if anybody sought medical care, it would have been a crisis management. In other words, if something goes badly wrong, they try and find some help, and they would have to walk days quite often to find some help. So, for instance, the nearest clinic with facilities to help and treat would have been at least half a day walk.
Okay.
The nearest town with a hospital is 4 hours drive now with the good roads.
4 hours drive?
Yeah, that's the nearest town with proper hospital. So you can see the challenges there.
Yeah.
So what we kind of try to work with the community, with the chiefs and leaders and so on, is to help them basically get set up with having a sustainable health service, which would go towards prevention and not just crisis management. That was the aim. So every now and then we go back and visit them, see how it's going.
Yeah.
And we've had different groups go out. We've had a group with dentists, hygienists, nurses, ophthalmologists, opticians, and so on going out. And basically, it's an amazing experience to be invited in the community. The Maasai are very welcoming, very peace-loving actually, and they're also very proud, elegant people, and it's an absolute privilege to go and share with them. So we go there, we have tents, nice campsites where we've got some of the Maasai who actually cook for us, and we work together, we discuss strategy and so on, sit down around the fire at night and talk about all sorts of stories.
Yeah.
And there's very rich culture. So this time around we were talking about strategies, about what's the next step to help them along the way of becoming.
Where are you at the moment with things? I mean, it's been 2006, did you say?
That's right.
So 2006, 16.
Yeah.
Got to do me maths.
Yeah,
which I'm not doing a very good job
at. Probably 16 years, 15, 16, something like that. I'm glad I'm not an accountant. So. But in essence, since that started, there's a charity called Red Tribe Charity.
Yes.
And there's a UK branch and there's a Kenyan branch. The charities have been established, so now that charity has a legal voice there. So if they buy equipment, if they buy motorbikes, whatever, for the clinic and projects, it's theirs.
Yeah.
So nobody is, it's owned by the Maasai for the Maasai. What's happened since then, the mobile clinic was registered, whereby people would go to villages to give healthcare promotion and so on. Recently, a dispensary was registered, in other words, like a clinic for people to come and get medication they need and so on. So we've got the mobile and the dispensary. The exciting things that have happened over the years is also a school has been developed. So there are about 200 students in this school, primary school, where the kids in that school, that Red Tribe set up, it's called Maasai Academy, they have performed better than the other schools in the region. They've come top. So, for instance, the national average for the end of primary school grade is 250. The students from Maasai Academy average was 284. Some very well-known private schools there managed 265, something like that. So they've done really well. The next step is to have some dormitories for girls, particularly to start off with. One of the issues there is that culturally, if a girl hasn't gone to secondary school, very early teenage years, they get married.
Okay.
And that means that's the end of education and becoming having any autonomy.
Yeah.
Right. The only way out of that is to go to secondary school. By going to secondary school, they can stay studying and not get married and so on, and then hopefully after that go on to study something at university.
Okay.
So what we're working now on, which is I think what's going to be most transformative in the region, in that community in the long term, is to push for the education.
Yeah. So
we've set up, during this trip, we discussed having a scholarship through the Red Tribe charity, whereby the students who get the top grades are given a scholarship to go on to secondary school. And then the ones from secondary school who want to go and study and have managed to qualify, they can go and study subjects that are needed in the community. For instance, nursing, teachers. We need teachers there for the schools to carry on. Doctors, engineers, agriculture, and so on. IT, computer sciences. So we'll give them scholarships for subjects that are needed in the community, so they can come back and serve.
Yeah. And do they tend to do that? Do they tend to stay and, or you're not seeing that yet, or is it a bit early?
We're nearly there. So we've got the first, in fact, I sat down with 4 of the first batch of Maasai Academy students who have gone through the secondary school and finished. The grades will come out on the 23rd of January, so imminent. Depending on the grades, they can go and study whatever they want. So out of the 4, one of them wants to be a nurse, 2 of them want to be what we call clinical officers. So it's kind of a not full medical degree, but it's almost halfway through. So they can manage and they can prescribe and so on. And one of them wants to become a pilot.
Wow. And
he's wanted to become a pilot since he was, goodness knows, early primary school.
Yeah.
Because he would see these planes, these bush planes landing and going, and he really wanted to be one. One of the workers there got him to sit in the cockpit. Most kids got scared and wanted to get out. He was in his element. He loved it. So, and in fact, this time he came with us next to the pilot.
Brilliant.
And had a little look. And again, he absolutely loves it. He's focused on it.
Yeah.
I met him 5 years ago as well when he was going from primary to secondary school. He kept, we gave some talks about things to study. We had a bunch of the women who were with us in the group talked about their careers and how they got there, to encourage the girls in the school.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you find that, is there any resistance to the girls going into education, or is that okay? And
There used to be. No, you're absolutely right. There used to be.
Right, we've got to stop it there, mate.
Yeah. They're waiting.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We'll come back to you, and this has got to continue. Thank you.